Want to know how to set up save data? Let me show you. Super simple. All you got to do is right click, hit blueprint class, search for save game. This one right here. In your save game blueprint, you can see I've got a high score variable set up. I've also got an interface. Don't worry about that. Interfaces don't actually work, you need to cast. Do keep in mind, this is just for saving my high score, so that's why it's so simple. If you want to save other stuff, it'll look more complicated, but this is just the basics. So, in our player blueprint, at event begin play, I've got does save game exist. This is just a node you can call in any blueprint. You see it's got a slot name input. You don't have to make this a variable, but I have. I'd recommend you do as well. Basically, the reason why is because it's saving to this slot name. So every time you want to load this save data or save this save data, the slot name has to be the same. So just name that whatever you want the slot to be named. It can be anything, but make sure it makes sense so you don't get confused. And then if it does exist, call load game from slot. Make sure the slot name is the same. Set the return value as a variable within your script. Use that to cast to your high score or whatever your same game is. And then you see I've set my high score in my save game to a variable in this script. And then over here, I've got this save game event. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm checking if our high score is less than our current score. And then if it is, we check does save game exist. And if it does, we load game from slot again. Set the return value in the variable we set before. And then we cast, grabbing the high score. And then we set the high score as the high score in our player script. And then we save game to slot, just hooking up the variables that we set before. And then if it doesn't exist, use create save game, select whatever save game you're using, set up the return value as that variable. Obviously, if you haven't made a variable yet, you want to create it, and then cast to save game high score. And then we're basically just doing the same thing, grabbing our high score, setting it, and then save game to slot. So that's how you set that up. I think it's pretty neat.